Hello, Cassie Brown here. I am thrilled to welcome you to the Brace for Impact podcast. I've been incredibly blessed to work with and coach some of the top entrepreneurs, CEOs, and marketers in the industry. And do you know the one thing that they all had in common? They didn't wait for the perfect time, but hit the ground running. They learned to see opportunity in motion and just leap. I created this podcast to help other entrepreneurs own their calling, expand their influence, get uncomfortable, embrace the growth of the journey to leave an impact on the world around them. For those who are ready to stop playing it small, to pick up the mantle of contribution that our clients in the world so desperately need. If that's you, then get ready to brace for impact as I share with you the top strategies, real truths, and hacks to crash through the obstacles and arrive in alignment of integrity, impact, and income. It's time to initiate the ripple effect of change. Hello and welcome to the Brace for Impact podcast. In this episode, I am actually sitting on the balcony in beautiful Encinitas, California, watching the waves roll in. Maybe you can hear them in the background of the Pacific Ocean. And this has been a couple days of complete relaxation and renewal. And I had self-care on my list of the podcast topics to talk about for quite a while, but October in and of itself has been a huge just momentum month filled with travel and, breakthroughs and things that just events happening back to back to back. And it's taken quite a toll on, my mental and physical capacity. But at the same time, I believe that, that adrenaline kicks in when you feel like you're truly living your purpose. So I have absolutely been running on fire and passion this whole month. And in the last couple of days have literally just been the most lazy mornings I've had probably all year. And it's been glorious. So on today's podcast, I just want to kind of talk about taking that time, the importance of taking that time to fill your cup. We've talked about it a few times within the Identify Mastermind group and even with my personal coaching clients that we can get so focused on being effective and efficient in our business that our schedule, that strict schedule, wake up at 5 a.m., be so incredibly focused until it's time to shut down, can be great at activating momentum in our business. But the quiet time, the peaceful time, that space that allows you to be creative and scheduled for absolutely really nothing is powerful. Allowing yourself that creative grace to kind of just look and take a step back and reflect, and evaluate. Is your business going where you want it to go? Is your life going where you want it to go? Are your priorities with your family or your loved ones able to stay in priority? We all have seasons, and the balanced life of work and just the day-to-day and even work and play is a myth. There's ebbs and flows, and there's times where we just have to grind really hard or just stay really focused or kind of put the blinders on for a certain project with a timeline. And then there's other times where actually slowing down will move you forward at an accelerated pace like nothing else. And just in the last couple of days, I think I've had the most mental clarity that I've had about the next steps, what it's going to look like, the future. We've talked about the last few episodes of the Amplify Retreat and activating entrepreneurs in their business to be able to really take action and get into that next level. Could be launching officially a proven concept that's already got great results and getting a strategy to be able to put into place to grow and scale, or it could be a relaunch, or it could be a continued. It's just whatever it is that's going to be that next level in your business, be sure to give it the attention it deserves. And a lot of the topics that we talked about with the retreat is just kind of also taking the time to schedule it out. What will delivery look like? That's definitely something that creeps in where, overwhelm, and we've touched on the hype of hustle. Sometimes we make ourselves extremely busy with something that doesn't necessarily wholeheartedly add extreme value to our products or services, but it makes our lives harder. So maybe just schedule a couple days and evaluate just, your systems and your delivery methods and, what do you need? And one thing that we incorporated into the Amplify retreat was a meditation, a beautiful meditation from my friend Melissa Stevens, and I'll definitely follow up and have some resources to connect with her on the amplifymyimpact.com link for you guys. But it was just so grounding. It was a guided meditation for grounding and release, and I'm not really like extremely woo. Like I'm very, very, I don't even know what category. Like I'm a Christian. I love God. I completely believe in his purpose in my life, like wholeheartedly can walk by faith. And I also just think that he puts people into our lives that continue to enrich us and fill us up with what we need to continue to pursue our purpose. Like he absolutely equips us to step into the purpose that we were called to do. And sometimes that's just through, it could be through obstacles that test our resilience and willingness to overcome, and just that pure determination. And it could also be through people and circumstances in our lives that remind us of what that purpose really is and how strong we are and what we were made to do. So I've had absolutely a couple weeks of people really pouring in that message to me, and it's more clear than ever. Like this is absolutely the 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 thing that I was made to do. So what is your thing? And how do you be sure that you keep your cup full as givers and those with a servant's heart? Like we constantly want to pour out to others and encourage them, but when our cup gets empty, our effectiveness is decreased. And I don't want to only operate at a margin of what my full capacity is. So one of the biggest things that I'm going to commit to over the next couple of months and into 2020 is to keep that. I've done really good about certain boundaries and keeping with family and friends. I like to protect my business and time with family. So it's almost like phase 2 of those boundaries are going to be with myself to protect the workload and requirements and expectations that I put on myself. Just allowing yourself that grace to fill up your cup so that you can keep going and make it an impact the way that you want. So some of the ways that I've done this, I wanted to share with you guys. So there's some mornings I get up at 5 a.m., 5:30, and just quietly do yoga. And that the days that I do that, it's incredible. Like it's very, very tempting just to open up, the email or my notebook and get started on, client accounts right away. But even if it's just 10 to 20 minutes of quiet reflection, it changes everything. Meditation and visualization is another thing that I've incorporated. And I even have a new kind of mantra to work in there, thanks to one of the exercises that Jorge worked us through on day 1 of the retreat, is a contract with myself. And so, whether it's words of affirmation or just projecting, really concentrating and visualizing what it is that you want in your business and your life, slowing down enough to breathe and pay attention to your breathing. Music, I love all sorts of genres of music. I love to dance, can rock out. I can sing karaoke. It's not necessarily the greatest, but music, find something that inspires you, the first few minutes in the morning, whether it's just pick one song that you listen to every morning or rotate it between your favorite artists. And when I'm picking music for inspiration, I grew up going to a small church camp where Mercy Me actually was the band that played there. And this was before they, sold the record, signed the record deal, got really well known and started touring like years and years and years before. So, I mean, it was beautiful. Like, they have been making beautiful music for a really, really, really long time. So they're one of my go-to praise and worship bands for just like setting that intention and making sure that my heart stays steadfast in the right place. Another thing is just getting outside and taking a walk, with the sunshine on your face. I'm sitting outside right now on the balcony. It's overcast in California, but it's still so peaceful and beautiful. Like, it's just grounding to be outside in nature. And trying to think, I think that pretty much sums up like my go-to self-care. Of course, there's manicures, pedicures, getting your hair done, especially as women and moms. When your appointments for stuff like that usually are bottom of the barrel. So maybe just, give yourself permission to have that extra perk every now and then. Typically, I schedule it as a necessity. The fact that I have a variety of hats helps me extend the coloring or updates of my roots and all of that good stuff. So we learn hacks along the way, but what if we gave ourselves that extra permission that we didn't have to? So yeah, and not only that, but like date nights. Date night is even like a form of self-care. When we took the kids to Europe and Paris and London, I told Adam, like, it was just amazing and wonderful, like to really kind of see it through their eyes and to have that experience. But I absolutely would have loved to be able to plan something where, maybe we even bring someone along with us next time to stay with the kids so that we can actually go out and have a date. We do that at home, but we don't do that when we go out to vacations. It's, we divide and conquer and take the kids around different places that may interest them. And we also do things as a family. But, that's another form of self-care for your relationships. But that's also my default is how can I care for others? So the thing that I always put on the back burner is how do I care for myself? How do I pay attention to what I need? And how do I make it a priority? So probably going to be one of those things that I'm going to have to continue to be crazy intentional about and make myself put on my calendar, because it's just a natural area of resistance, but it's necessary. And I definitely, over the past couple of days, like, I see the vision clearly on not only how I can grow and scale my business that will create that freedom and flexibility that I really want for my family, but how I can exponentially increase the results for my clients and entrepreneurs that I work with and create that ripple effect. So I'm definitely paying more attention to self-care, and it's going to go into, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly routines. So I just wanted to share that with you and also encourage you and challenge you to do the same thing. Please reach out, connect with me, and let me know how you're doing this or if you're struggling, and I would just be happy to connect and help. I will share the resources. I can probably share, some of the favorite things that I mentioned, and also connect you guys with Melissa Stevens. Dave Scatcherd is another one who is incredible with meditations. He has a whole library of meditations that I could probably connect with and create a time. Hopefully, we've mentioned an interview, so I should probably follow up with him to continue this series of self-care. Kind of thinking out loud here. So yeah, I think I'll set that series of interviews up and have that for you guys soon. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope you've received value, encouragement, and exactly what you need to help keep you in momentum to grow and impact the world around you. Big or small, we all make a difference. Thanks also for subscribing, downloading, and leaving a review. This helps us reach others who need this message in their life. If you know anyone who would benefit from this podcast, please share. so you and I can help more people boldly step into purpose. It is my heart's mission to help and encourage others. My internal belief that a rising tide lifts all ships. So much of what we talk about on the podcast is leading with value and building relationships through service. So we've created a collection of resources for you to continue growing, whether you are just getting started or ready to scale your business. Visit amplifymyimpact.com for show notes, downloads, programs, and more information about how to directly work with our team to amplify your impact and change the world.